Welcome back to Breakfast Central. We'll now review the newspaper front pages, and joining us to analyze what the top stories on the papers are is the publisher of the niche newspaper, Atiku Abubakar. Good morning, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Amechi. Always a pleasure to see you. And I see you're almost color coordinating with the olive.
Because great minds think alike.
Are you wearing glasses with him? Great minds are bespectacled.
Nice one, nice one. Okay, let's get into the papers this morning and see what the front pages are saying. We'll be starting off with the Nigerian Tribune. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune, World Bank, Nigeria's economy needs to generate better jobs, reduce poverty. The comment Nigeria's growth trajectory says, economy recorded fastest growth in about a decade in 2024. Wants pace of growth to accelerate further and projects inflation to fall to average of 22.1% in 2025. JAMB engages IT experts to review...
Sorry to interrupt you. That World Bank, Nigeria's economy needs to generate better jobs, reduce poverty. Sounds like a Nigerian politician.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's what the presidency will say. But let's move on. We'll get back to that.
We'll come back to that. JAMB engages IT experts to review 2025 UTME. Wabara declares PDP revival as Board of Trustees inaugurates new members. Federal government raises 1,093 trillion naira via Sukuk to fund infrastructure development, according to DMO. Wike wants PDP over 2027 presidential ticket, says Fubara visited him with 2 APC governors. Federal government to overhaul underperforming discos. Unijust Professor Piwona succeeds Oshodeke as ASU president. Interesting. UK ends overseas social care in major immigration shake-up. And the tax reform bills, reps set up conference committee to harmonize with Senate.
I mean, is there any need to even look at any other newspaper? Because this has almost all the stories.
Well,
so many things to start to touch on. JAM engages IT experts to review.
Well, I'd like us to start with the PDP one, because that was the last conversation we had. We've had two PDP members. One of them believes, the first one we had was Honorable Clement Aziegbemi, who believes that the PDP is on its path to recovery. They just need to put their house in order. He believes that the PDP should zone to the south, not the north, in agreement with Nyesom Wike's statement. We also had Chief Momodu, who believes that Wike has a lot of blame in all of this, and that Wike is acting the way that he's acting because he has the presidential backing.
Wike has already declared his intention, and you can't serve two masters at the same time. If you fully endorse President Tinubu, what's your business with who emerges as PDP presidential candidate, since you're not going to support that person? And I kind of see his logic. What do you make of this? And also, please, we'd like to keep things interactive. Call us and share your thoughts or comments on any of the stories we've discussed this morning.
The PDP crisis, if you ask me, is a self-inflicted injury. And it started right in, it has been there, but I think it got to this cancerous level, what I would call cancerous level in 2023.
The terminal decline.
Yes, because of the ambition of the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar. Look, I'm not a fan of Wike, and whatever he is doing may have been motivated by self-interest. But that Atiku went against the grain of political thought that has been there in Nigeria since 1999, whether for good or for bad, that the presidency, for the sake of equity, for the sake of fairness, should be rotated between the North and the South. And therefore, we've had a Muhammadu Buhari from the North,
2 terms.
Katsina State, a Fulani man who had his 2 terms. And in 2019, don't forget, in 2015, that Atiku and co left PDP because of this same reason, when the former President Goodluck Jonathan reneged on his promise to do one term so that power can go back to the north after the unfortunate death of Yar'Adua, in 2015, Jonathan reneged. That was how APC came, and that was the entire north came to an agreement. Buhari had contested for the presidency 3 times prior to that time. Buhari has never been a fan of the northern elite. But all of them came together to say, look,
we have to unseat.
We must unseat Jonathan. Anybody but Jonathan. Atiku was part of that movement. Bukola Saraki was part of that movement. And they all coalesced in APC. Okay. And of course, unseated Jonathan.
Let's quickly hold that thought. We'll come back to talk about what happened with the coalition against Jonathan. We have Prince calling from Port Harcourt. Good morning, Prince. Thank you for calling. Please go ahead with your comment. Unfortunately, we lost that call. So we're speaking about how there was a coalition against President Goodluck Jonathan.
Yes. So in 2019, this same Atiku, and of course with Bukola Saraki and others, came back to the PDP. Atiku picked the ticket and ran for the presidency against Muhammad Buhari, and of course lost. So in 2023, having had a northerner on that seat for 8 years, common sense and political sagacity would have detected that, look, if PDP was to survive, it must have its own presidential candidate again from the south. Atiku went to Enugu and hijacked the ticket of the...
I mean, the delegates voted for him.
I think there is more to these delegates now voting for somebody that means the eye. Don't forget what happened at the Eagle Square. It was when Tambuwal, who had already made his speech, came back to make another speech announcing that he was going to step down for Atiku. And all his delegates now queued behind Atiku, that Atiku won. If not, perhaps, and Nyesom Wike may have taken the ticket, because by then, P2B had left the PDP and joined the
Labour Party.
So, all I'm saying is that as long as Atiku insists that he must be the presidential candidate of the PDP, even in the 2027 election, PDP will not recover from this crisis.
All right. Let's bring back in Prince. I think we've reconnected with him, and let's get his thoughts. Good morning, Prince. Thank you for calling from Port Harcourt. Please go ahead.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Okay. All I want to say is I believe Wike has done the needful, and I think he's in the right perspective on his view, because I think he's a man of wisdom. I think as a Rivers man and the South regional prince, I think the president should have sent back to the South, and I think we have to, understand the dynamics of politics, and I think the northern area has, taken a fair share of all these political myths, all these lies. I think it's time for we to move back to South and develop the South, let the South complete its tenure. And I think this is something recommendable. I think the Minister of the FCT is doing very perfectly well, and I think we understand his dynamics of his political ambition to make the South region a better place for real coalition and for people to live well. I think let us support and emulate such a man who has integrity of character, and I think let us understand his point. I think I just want to say, as the Prince of Fatoma, precisely.
I think we get the summation of your thoughts.
I mean, to summarize it, he said it's only fair that the South completes. It's 8 years. Yes.
Okay. I mean, you did say that if the PDP continues to push Alhaji Atiku Abubakar as a candidate, then they're not done with this crisis. Part of the responses that Chief Dele Momodu gave to this argument is that Nyesom Wike wanted to run under this same northern ticket as the vice president with Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, and that all he's doing now is that he's bitter because he didn't get the ticket. And he's wondering if Nyesom Wike would have felt differently if he got that last ticket, and what has changed significantly between then and now. If he was willing to run under that same northern ticket, why is he all of a sudden criticizing it?
There is no doubting the fact that Nyesom Wike, after he lost out to Atiku Abubakar in 2023, lobbied to be Atiku's
vice presidential
candidate. Now, if he had been given that ticket, would he have done what he did? The answer is no. But now it is neither here nor there. We are in a crisis situation. I continue saying here that the biggest value that Nyesom Wike brings to the Tinubu governance table is not even what he's doing in Abuja as the FCT minister. People are saying that he's doing quite well in terms of infrastructure. But it is that he is there playing the spoiler,
the destabilizing
the PDP. And as long as he does that in cahoot with the judiciary, he's good to go. Nyesom Wike, for all I care, is the most valuable political factor going to 2027 for Bola Tinubu. And that is why no matter what he does, Tinubu is prepared to throw a state governor under the bus illegally just to satisfy Nyesom Wike. Nyesom Wike now addresses, will I call it?
Media chat.
Media chat every month. That a privilege that even the president does not have.
Clearly that he wants to be more expressive so that people don't misjudge.
Keep them updated.
For all I care, that is even the de facto vice president of Nigeria, because he's deferred more to than even the de jure vice president of Nigeria. So, whatever Dele Momodu is saying about Nyesom Wike, it is true that Nyesom lobbied to be running mate to Atiku in 2023. Atiku thought otherwise and picked
Senator Ifeanyi Okowa.
Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa. Of course, the rest is history today. But the truth of the matter is that if Atiku insists on running for the presidency again in 2027 and succeeds in picking the ticket of PDP will fail.
All right, let's move now to another paper and take a few more headlines. We've just finished the Nigerian Tribune. Let's now move to the Daily Independent. On the front page, experts list obstacles to federal government 2.5 million barrels per day oil production target. NNPC to resume oil drilling in the North Ojularia shores. Federal government moves to revitalize Nigeria's electricity distribution sector. FEC OK 17 underwriters for Tinubu, Shetima, others life insurance. Igbenedion, Otom, Olafeso, Ugwuanyi, 35 others inducted as PDP Board of Trustee members. Per Clark leaved for others, says Jonathan. NCAA draws flag after Asaba Airport runway incident, in case you are wondering. An animal.
An antelope, similar to kangaroo.
Kangaroo.
Clashed with an airplane.
Animal farm. 25 years later, NDLEA gets forensic labs in Abuja and Enugu. Fubara lacks genuine capacity to broker peace, says Wike. And PDP will cease to exist by end of 2025, Ganduje predicts. Let's start with that. Ganduje, of course, this is not the first time we've heard him speak about the one-party, the alleged allegations of Nigeria moving to a one-party state, saying that there's nothing wrong in it, so long as that these people are moving in because...
He's been speaking in a Vincent Obolafo fashion.
Well, Ganduje, the national chairman of the APC, was reacting to what the former governor of Jigawa State, Sule Lamido, said, that, of course...
APC will split soon and others will defect to the PDP.
And that Ganduje and others will also soon come back to the PDP. So it is this...
tit for tat.
Tit for tat. If you tackle me, I double you. Political distance. The truth of the matter is that, look, a lot of what happens to PDP will depend on what they do with their presidential ticket in 2027. Of course, PDP won't cease to exist in 2025. That is rather too hyperbolic. It's an exaggeration. But will it come out stronger as an opposition party after the 2027 election? Like I said earlier, it will depend on what they decide to do with the ticket, their presidential ticket. If I were Atiku Abubakar, what I will do, if the idea is to unseat Bola Tinubu, he is not in a position to do that. If I were him and other Northerners who feel aggrieved that President Bola Tinubu has betrayed the trust they had in him, what I will do is to look for a credible Southerner and amass the support of Northerners behind that person, rather than insisting that the power must go back to the North. Somehow, some people, even those that don't have that are not partisan per se, see in that ambition an insult directed. Because, some elements in the North have always insisted that they are born to rule. So if 4 years after the Bola Tinubu presidency, which has, of course, pauperized everybody, not only Northerners, even those from his own southwest, everybody is complaining. Inflation is at an all-time high.
They are feeling it.
Everybody is feeling it. Cost of living is very, very bad. And the Naira has been devalued by more than 250% since 2023, since May 2023, when he was sworn into office. So the economy is actually really...
But the argument, Mr. Mechi, is that they inherited the comatose economy that
things
was
were already bad.
Lifeline. So we had to take surgical procedures, floating of the Naira, removal of full subsidy, and that we will begin to, that this is only 2 years into a 4-year presidency. Are we being fair in our assessment of the Tinubu administration?
We are being more than fair. That argument is harebrained because of
your reasons. Yeah.
2 reasons. Number one is that Tinubu took over from an APC government. Don't forget, APC, when they came on board in 2015, with what was their mantra then? Change. They did everything to say that the 16 years of PDP was the worst thing that has happened to Nigeria. It is not true. We've now found out that the worst of the 16 years of PDP is far better than the best of the 10 years of APC so far.
Looking at data.
Buhari actually crippled this country beyond anything you could imagine. But the truth of the matter is that Tinubu came in 2023 promising that If you remember what he said, was it in Cross River or in Akwa Ibom? There was this video that was trending then. He said they don't know what to do. And he was talking about the Buhari government. We know what to do, we will do it better. This idea of saying that you excuse yourself from any responsibility, why did he seek to be president? Is it not to make things better? So when you aspire to be president and all you do, APC under Buhari did that for 8 years, PDP, 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 even when things were far better under PDP than under APC. So 8 years down the road, what other excuse do you have? So Tinubu government is an APC government. But beyond that, look, if he come in, remember when Obama became US president, I think in 2008, George Bush Jr. had, because of the 2 wars he was fighting, had taken America's economy almost down the drain. Obama, in 8 years, brought America's economy back and all that. The rest is now, as we say, history. What has Tinubu done? Can anybody, apart from those who are in government, can anybody say that his life today, he's better off today than he was May 29, 2023?
They'll say they stopped queuing for petrol.
At what price? At what price, Benga? It is something. This same APC government, they were there. NMPCL was fooling everybody, saying that Warri Refinery, Port Harcourt Refinery, all that, they spent $2.something billion reviving. At the end of the day, nothing. And they continue deceiving Nigerians. 2 years is enough to show direction of where you are going. Where Tinubu has taken us in the last 2 years, I'm afraid no Nigerian is comfortable. Are they going to do better in the next 2 years? Let us watch and see. But there is nothing yet that shows, because there's no plan there that anybody can see. Is it insecurity? Do you know how many Nigerian soldiers have been killed in the last 1 week?
Okay, I mean, another aspect that we need to look at in terms of how well we're faring as a nation is the education sector, and we will look at that in the next segment where we'll take what Nigerians are saying. Stay with us.